over this with very, very light touches, because what I don't want to do is take off any of the rosewood. And also there'll be glue on here as well that we want to get off. So I'm not gonna try and chisel the glue off. What I'll do is I'll just use a little sanding block. Right, so just ignore the noise in the background. That's my son getting ready for playing pool on the table outside. So what I'm going to do here, you can see on here we have residue of glue and things like that. So I just want to tidy that up a bit more, just so that the glue that I'm using doesn't potentially interfere with the glue that's on here and cause it not to take as well. So we won't get it perfect, because I mean this is inside the little fibres and all sorts. But what we just want to do is get it just that little bit more sort of done. And also what I've also noticed, in fact it wouldn't surprise me if this has been a bridge reset before, because there's glue squeeze out. You can just maybe see it just there. You can see there's glue squeeze out there. And there is also glue squeeze out there. So I'm going to clean that off as well, because that's shoddy workmanship. Whoever did this should have cleared that up. So we'll sand it down and we'll try and clean it up, and then we'll clean the guitar area up as well. Okay, so as I was talking about, we have the bridge off, but we have a problem. The bridge, when you hold a straight rule on it like that, there is a dip. I can see a dip across here, which is not the end of the world, because when you clamp it down, it means that these ends will be tighter on the body, and you can glue this in. And it's not a big curve, so it's not the end of the world. But the bridge, when you hold it against the body, which I'll show you in a minute, when you've got it like that, is doing this. It's rocking on its kind of center point. So there's a high spot all the way down. There you can see it, there's a high spot all the way down there, which means it's sitting and like a chisel rocking in the middle. So let's see if I can show you. Let me see if I can move the camera around. So if I hold this sort of the back edge, which should be flat, I don't know whether you can see that rocking. And that shouldn't be doing that, that should be flat as a pancake. So with that in mind, what are the options? One, I could buy a new bridge, which will probably be, I don't know, 35, 40 pounds. The alternative is I try and flatten that hill in the middle. So that's what I've opted to do, is I'm going to try and flatten that in the middle. So what I've done here is, if you look at this, you can just see there's a load of lines that I've drawn on with a pencil. So they are my marker lines. So I'm going to try and sand down the middle, and what I want to see is, I want to see the lines in the middle disappearing, and I want to see the lines on the outside staying. So I've got a set of paper, sandpaper, on a flat block, and then I'm going to just gently work this along and see if I can get it flat again. So we'll see how we get on. And already you can start to see how the pencil lines are still here and here, but they are starting to disappear in the middle. So that looks like it's doing kind of what we want it to do. So we just need to keep an eye on it. So again, it's slowly coming down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a new set of marks on it. So again, I'm just going to run across there with a pencil. Right, so I think we are kind of there. So this is the sanded bridge plate, and I've sanded it as far as I'm willing to go, on the basis of this is an important structural piece. So if I sand it too much, effectively I'll weaken the bridge and the body, and you'll put the strings on it, tighten it up, and you know, it'll just rip off again, or it'll snap the bridge plate. So I don't want that to happen. But I'm happy with where I've got it so far. So this is ready to go. I've now got to, if I just move this down a little bit, now I've got to, happy with this in terms of how I've cleaned it up. So now I've got to get some glue on here, get some glue on the bridge, and then with my clamp that I have here and a piece of mahogany, what I'll then do is I will clamp the bridge into place like that with my clamp on the inside, and then what I'll do is I'll use little pieces of packing material to try and force the sides, those little moustache sides, so these little bits here, and also this bit here, because it's at a different profile level to this, and then I'll just use that to try and force out the glue and give it a nice solid kind of joint, and then we'll leave it for 24 hours and we'll see kind of how it looks. By that point I'll know it should be all right. So let me get started.